Hard to bully the Void Spirit when you're Mars. You're both just melee heroes, you both have ways to clear wave. And you both have kind of this damage reduction. If he does go for like Bulwark, you have the absorption with Resonant Pulse too, so I think it would be pretty even. Maybe Dark Mago gets slightly ahead on denies perhaps, but I don't know, it's probably just about even. Bottom. Taiga forced to dive away. Matthew gets a pull off.
But the mid lane is definitely the huge focus is going to be around the first power rune at 6 minutes in. Because without a doubt, you look at these two mids, both could be incredibly explosive if they get that right rune. Top lane, Amar getting a good link off. Bashes from Picard are still there. Amar trying to stand his ground to take down Panda, but it's going to be Amar that falls first.
That's a big deal. The Void lane killing the Razor lane, that's not something you'd expect.
Absolutely not, and that's the one thing. You may be able to, of course, drain the damage, but that bonus from the time lock still going to be hitting in.
Just that little bit, and he did get the one bash, so it all does add up. And Panda, he did go for the Decrepify at level 2, so he's going to be able to get that extra damage and potentially protect also versus Because. Seeing a lot of variety when I see this 5 position Pugna between what they get at level 2.
Nice dodge there from Because as well, making sure he gets himself back up to full HP with the South. And
immediately after they get the kill, he buys boots. So ways to distance himself from the link, ways to get on top of the Wind Ranger as well. Now they have a pretty good speed advantage, I would say, in the top lane. 345 on Void, 330 on the Pugna. Looking at the two heroes on the side of OG, it's 290s. So should be able to distance himself pretty easily from both of the targets.
Yeah, very unlikely to see Because himself die in this lane now. Of course, for Panda, he does still have to be careful with his positioning, but so far so good from him here.
Getting a lot of pulls already. I'm seeing Thunder Awakens. They got the top pull off, they get the bottom pull off, so lanes reflecting that a bit. Still seeing the Razor dominating the last hits, but it's to be expected, a Razor versus Void matchup. But as we said, that kill, very important.
And bottom, when you sort of look towards the potential of the Tusk and the Snapfire early on, do you imagine we'll see them have a chance to get aggressive, look for any kills down here?
Absolutely. It's any time that anyone gets out of position. Even the CK can die. You see Matthews holding skill points just in case of an opportunity that he sees to go for it. Because, you know, like we're mentioning, when Phoenix is there, the Fire Spirits are going to be able to counter tag team, but when he's not there, if they do have 2 points in tag team, potentially they could just go for Yuragi.
And Tiger himself also having to be careful. Anytime he ends up having to use that dive, we'll have to be cautious whilst it's on cooldown. Matthews not able to get in and trap him.
They do have 2 different ways to kind of disrupt that. When they have Snowball, when they have Cookie, they could just stop it in midair. The Shards also can catch him afterwards, so Taiga does have to be quite careful with his positioning.
In the mid. Top lane step. We'll be able to find a courier.
Alrighty.
Just a little bit of money there for himself and the team. And the CS on that top, 19-5, 19-2. So again, I think this is
doing well.
Very impressive from Picard that he's getting the same amount of CS out of this lane as a Mars Razor.
It's quite massive for sure. Bottom, we see a lot of teams been doing this, especially when the pull gets stacked. Instead of playing the lane after that, you go and contest the pull, just clear it so they can't deny a full wave. Nicely done from Thunder Awakens. Taiga. Getting confident. Has 8 stick charges plus a Fairy Fire, so tanky Phoenix at this point. And bottom, getting aggressive.
Leading on to Sacred. Sacred will be able to cookie over towards Tiger. And they won't have any further damage here to threaten the Snapfire. Sacred more than fine. He's got those early stats. And Matthew's range drop as well. He's very hard to burst through.
Matthew still holding skill points, just waiting for which opportunity, what it's going to be that he needs in the situation. Do love when I see players doing that.
In the mid, we did have Dark Margo having to take the walk back to base. He'll head back to refuel. He has hit the 6. Let's see what sort of move he can look to make next. 6 minutes coming up on the clock, so the power room will be the focus for the 2 mids. Bottom lane, Sacred. He might just go down here. He'll try and cookie to safety. It's ticking down low to the Fire Spirits, but he will live. The Tango regen, a Hedrosaur as well, keeping him alive. Over towards the river, BZM. He gets the rune down bottom. Up top though, Seb. Finding himself a bit of a fight here between himself and Dark Margo and Panda. Remember's going to be down, Seb. He's going to be able to walk out of this. Not able to quite get the kill there. Okay, with the arena. Sure, don't get it. There it is. In fact, he gets the damage onto Seb, the connection onto BZM. BZM will jump to safety with the Dissimulate. Dark Margo getting the job done after all. They're taking out Seb around the mid.
And they bring Matthew now to mid to try to pressure with this catapult wave. Also, cute little thing. Dark Margo cut quelling the tree that Seb was trying to shackle to in the river there immediately, so it might have actually connected. Really good little play. They're going to glyph, try to get a bit more tower damage. and Matthew will move back toward bottom.
Gonna try to get quick with a jump onto Dark Margot.
Won't latch.
Have enough burst between the two of them. Astral Step's going to be up again in a few seconds, but a nice spear from Dark Margot pushing back BZM, making sure that he won't have the range to jump back
Bottom.
in. At the same time, we're seeing top Pakaz was thinking about dropping a Chrono to attempt to finish the kill. Bottom lane, Yuragi's out with the TP. Chrono having to be used here by Pakaz to keep himself safe. As we did see the rotation there for BZM to try and get the kill on the Void. Pakaz, he'll save himself and back away.
Yuragi did TP to the tower. He's going to have Tiger to regen him back up, but it's a massive wave coming in here. Fairly early aggression, as we mentioned. Thunder Awakened, the way they play tends to be like this. Even the early points to point out for Sacred, taking the little shredder early on since he is versus the Phoenix.
Back in the mid. Oh,
get him. Oh,
it's going to come in time. Dark Margot, he's going to get out. Matthew.
Oh, Matthew.
A clutch save there as he turns up in the mid.
And now Seb.
He's in trouble, trapped in the shards. The shards will finally come to an end, but the blast is going to miss. Doesn't matter. Right clicks from Panda. Take out Seb. Thunder Awaken. Starting to show some very nice moves here already in the early game.
Their two supports are always this active. Incredible plays from Matthew this tournament. Always being in the right place at the right time for these saves.
I mean, that was so clutch there. That last moment
Split
there.
second.
Saving Dark Margot, getting him back to base. Making sure that OG, they're not finding the action that they'd hoped for. And this quick move from Dark Margot.
There's kisses as well.
OG might not expect this.
It's an easy kill if they do see Yuragi. Super active, as we've seen from this team.
Here we go. Dark Margot, he's closed the gap onto Yuragi. They get the spear connection. Kisses coming in as well. Thunder Awaken. Continue to come in with the moves in this early game. Mid lane, they do lose Panda. But getting the bigger kill themselves down bottom, Thunder.
OG gonna be able to turn this into a bit of a push. Thunder has to react. I like that Matthew's gone for the multiple points and shards. I actually like this build more on the Tusk lately. I feel like tag teams just gotten nerfed too many times, and shards and snowballs has been constantly buffed, so glad that he's gone for this build. More AoE, always gonna be nice, more burst from a distance. And fun interactions we have too. Tusk shards plus Mars, combo that they can do anywhere. They can always latch that spear to the Tusk shards. And now they're gonna get some stacks going on also, just in case. A little bit of a slowdown perhaps for Thunder. Seeing the last hits, OG pulling ahead. That Razor, dominant.
Very, very close to on the net worth. Pretty much all 6 cores in the game within a couple of hundred of one another. Tiger. Put the cookie into the blast. With the shredder damage, they'll take him out. Thunder. Getting these kills now. OG getting caught out a little bit.
And as we pointed out, Sacred, he's got his 3 points in Blast, now going back to put more points in that little Shredder because he wants to get that scaling potential as an offlaner. And yeah, always going to be able to watch Phoenix Egg. They always have something to address it.
Tiger. Going to get the refuel here for BZM. Last few times, you know, BZM, once they did get that bit of action onto the support, and he's been looking for the cores. Thunder have reacted. Top situation, Pakaz saving himself with the Chrono, the mid move as well, where Dark Margot was kept alive. Made it tough for BZM to find those early kills that he really wants to get. Top. Oh! Got the attempt here with the Shackle, but Pakaz does still have the Time Walk available. He'll make sure he can get over the tree line, so he's fine.
Dark Margot attempted to go for the Tumbler's Toy into getting the rune, but got caught in the Aether Remnant. So BZM will have a haste rune, so could get aggressive on these side lanes. Difficult to still gank Pakaz. But could you see him go for Sacred in the bottom lane, potentially, as they go for mid?
We're going to try, but the Remnant's going to miss. Dark Margot, he's up to the high ground. CP comes in. Matthew, he's there, ready to save. We'll take him in pretty deep, though, so Dark Margot does still go down, but the shards are out. The damage with the kisses flying in. Thunder, they'll take out Tiger in return. This time, OG, they get the core kill, and BZM,
he's feeling strong.
He can go for more. Remnant connection over to the side. They'll try and cookie Matthew away from the Astral Step. He'll still get run down here by BZM, but the defense is there from Panda. Dissimulate will hit, but the infused raindrop keeps Matthew alive. BZM won't get the kill. He'll barely get out as well there. Matthew nearly trapping him with the shard.
Look how much is just going on, how much attention is going on the mid lane. Even Pakaz comes over, everybody just looking to emphasize on that early game. OG's playing quicker than usual.
They're
Top.
Going to smoke him,
Amar
two of them.
Gets caught.
He's on his own. Whilst the rest of his team's headed over towards the mid lane, Amar having to deal with Dark Margot, but he's got enough damage. He's actually going to get away with the trade there. The static link meaning there was no follow-up.
And Pakaz?
Oh, they've got the Phoenix Egg here taken out by Pano. No, he can't commit for it. He'll back away. Again, another Chrono just being used to back off here defensively. I'll save the two of them, but that's a big kill there on the top for Amar there. You know, you saw from Dark Margo, he went for it, feeling that he had it, and he was so close, but the link, it turns things around.
There's 11 HP.
Snowball from Matthew, but that's going to be a snowball towards his death.
Oh boy.
Tackle shot from Seb in return. Matthew taken out.
OG's matching Thunder's aggression. Like, Thunder is usually the team that's playing a lot more aggressive. OG, from we've seen their style, usually tends back a little more, but they're getting some massive momentum coming here. Amar, now he's going to be too tanky for them to deal with. 1800 HP on this Razor. A big slip up from Dark Mago. That actually leads to them losing the mid tower, right? If he goes mid and he has Arena, potentially they can look to fight around there. So, big slip up for them.
It's still close towards the Blink Dagger, but indeed we're very unlikely going to see him try and make a solo move onto Amar again. They need to have a +1 if they want to attempt to kill that Razor. Amar now having all the space in the world top, he'll start working on this tier 1 tower.
It's always the little things that matter, right? Like Dark Mago, imagine he had even like a gauntlet or something, or if he had gone for something like phase boots in the mid lane.
That would have made a difference.
Would have made the difference, but he does want to be that big initiator for his team since they have an off-lane Snapfire.
Heading over, but straight away, quick reaction as soon as Panda shows himself. Seb locks him down.
Another tower going to get dropped down very early on. These BKBs, I know T. Governor was mentioning on panel how it could be something that Thunder Awakens just might not be able to deal with, these early BKBs that are going to be coming out. And set up for a good time for Amar to have it, probably around like that 16-minute mark.
Thunder playing a little more careful now. They know that OG are hungry for action.
The blink is on Dark Mago though, so I do still feel like they're going to play very aggressive, as they should. Can't just sit back and let OG farm as this Tricore.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
OG will be forced back out of the jungle of Thunder Awaken.
3k gold lead already though.
And very likely that they'll be back for more soon, and especially if they want to make moves around Amar. What will be a very, very quick BKB timing this game. And once he's in with the BKB, unlikely that Thunder's going to be able to take him down, especially if he gets a link off onto any of the cores of Thunder.
They'll have to catch him pre-BKB, which they still can do. Catching him from tree lines, either a quick spear. They do have availability from that and the Chrono to be able to hold him down in place and just blast him with the Mortar Kisses, but he's tanking too. So, a lot of different things that they're going to have to go through, and looks like it's a little bit of a downtime here. Thunder, they're going to farm a bit. Losing these tier 1s is pretty devastating. It starts to make it hard for you to get aggressive and get onto the enemy side. As Matthew,
the power rune here, Matthew. He's going to get the backup. Dark Margo in with the combo there. The spear to follow up the shard. They'll lock BZM down temporarily, but he's still able to jump out. Not enough follow-up burst damage to kill off the Void Spirit. He'll be fine.
They need Sacred in most of those situations. Whenever they have either the Chrono Spear or they have the Mars ulti, I think Sacred just has to be there to throw the damage inside. But he didn't want to be. I mean, right now he's still looking to farm this Blink Dagger so he can follow up with Dark Mago and always be in position. And he's got it. So, do think that they're still going to look to ramp up the pressure. Don't let OG sit back and farm like they tend to.
Yeah, Picard's as well, carefully pushing out that bottom lane. He's getting closer towards the Maelstrom.
Bottom of the cores, though, it is a Void, so it does take a lot more time for you to farm in comparison to these Razors and CKs who just farm at this ridiculous pace.
Looks like they might want to try and find something here. Smoke up from the two of them. BZM and Seb ready to back up Amar.
OG's setting up for the fights, and Thunder, ideally they want to get a fight and try to push one of these towers, because just unable to really catch any breaks here.
Oh, Shackle won't latch. Revenant won't connect in time either. Cars out to safety, and the backups arrive for Thunder.
Sacred.
OG's got to be careful themselves now.
Seb places the ward, immediately sees him. We'll be able to scurry away. We'll lose the ward, but does save his life. Thunder, all position bottom now for this tower.
And they've got every single ultimate as well, pretty much. Okay, outside the arena. Yeah, nice backup as well.
Back up.
The full team fight ready to go from Thunder.
Taiga, snowballs on him.
There's going to be a deep move here from Matthew. Seb, hold back the offensive capabilities of Panda with that shot.
him in the stun. A lot of different cool things that he can do with it.
Absolutely. Usually what as a Snapfire, you want to stand your ground and just rip into it with the little shredder. But if you're getting blown out of position, you're having to step back in each time to get that second hit, and it slows down.
It could trip him up.
Yeah. It makes it that little bit harder to really just immediately get the mass amount of hits into the Supernova.
Pakaz now will start to catch up in that farm. The Maelstrom is done, going straight for what looks like a Mjolnir next, so just wanting straight attack speed.
There's the jump. They should get themselves a quick kill here. Dark Margot instantly catching Tiger.
That ward that they placed earlier will catch Seb.
Towards Panda, and with the Gale Force as well, trapping Panda pretty much as he's got nowhere to run. Amar's in on top of him. Over to the side, they've got the control. BZM catches him. The follow-ups there for Yuragi's, they drag him into the army of the CK's illusions.
Look at how long, I mean, that ward has lasted the entire duration. They were watching him for the entire, like minute or so that he was farming those Ancients. Seb with some really good aggressive wards. Now putting a ward mid, he actually sees the tusk in the snap.
Off to the side, they might be able to get more out of this. There's the setup here, over towards Matthew. They'll try and save him with the cookie, gets him out of the range of the Dissimilate. BZM also low on the mana, so unlikely to want to try and dive for more. And the backups now coming in for Thunder. Dark Margot back in around the tier 2 tower. OG, got to be a bit careful now, especially with Void up in 10 seconds, and the ultimates will be there.
Almost a double BKB timing for OG though. CK's about to have it, Razor has it himself. That's going to put a pretty big dent into the damage that Thunder Awakens has to throw into this Chronosphere if they get the BKB off before that Chrono will be coming out. Oop.
See a short pause here. In terms of the build as well for sort of OG outside of the BKB, because we've got the Witchblade into the Aghanim, so the full damage from BZM.
I love that build.
And of course just having that silence, likely as well if they get a few more good team fights under their belt, that he'll have that AoE silence before some of the dispel that's required on the course of Thunder Awaken will be done.
And just a really obnoxious one to get into the backlines and to stop any type of saves, right? Like if the Void Spirit gets Ags, he can jump into the back, stop the Snapfire ult, and then jump in and also stop Matthew from potentially saving people with Snowball. That silence is very annoying, and a big chunk of burst damage versus something like a Void is always something that you want.
Oh, for sure, and that's why we're seeing Sacred Blink Dagger into the BKB. He has to get the BKB to be able to play this game.
I saw he had Ags and Shard and stuff queued up, but yeah, he's starting to recognize. They're also starting to fall behind quite significantly. 7,000 gold lead already for OG. And BKB's online.
Well, still yet to see Thunder find that opportunity to really exercise the strength of their team fight when everything comes together around a Chrono from Pakaz. I think the only Chronos we have seen are the ones where Thunder's had to save themselves and bail out of there.
They're starting the Rosh, and they're going to be able to do it at full HP too, with the Fire Spirit slowing the attack speed. And that Chaos Strike gets scanned. Thunder Awakens, this is the opportunity perhaps if they were there on time.
And if they can get in with the ultimates, but it looks like that hesitation will mean that Thunder probably not going to have a chance of getting a look towards the Roche. Step out to the side as well, a bit of a distraction, and Amar, he'll step over towards them to try and get some kills. They get the kill on the Roche down. Amar, he's in on top with a good long static link on Matthew. It's going to be a lot of damage building up as Matthew dies immediately as the snowball comes to an end. OG, they'll take the kill, they'll secure Roshan, they'll get that Aegis on Yuragi.
This is starting to look pretty problematic for Thunder Awakens. Dark Mago, I think he was like, what, 70 gold from the BKB, so they made the executive call to not go for the fight around there.
And now whilst he may have that BKB, trying to find a fight into the BKBs of OG and the Aegis on the CK, it's not going to be easy for Thunder Awaken to slow OG down in these next few minutes.
Feels almost like they have to try. Otherwise, they're going to just continuously get out-farmed from this Razor and CK. Their Void, it continues to catch up, as we were mentioning, with that Maelstrom, but really starting to feel a lot of issues coming in for Thunder Awaken. But if anybody can do it, we've seen the way that this team can fight back when they are behind.
Absolutely, and they've got the tools to do so.
They do.
If they can get some sort of insane Chronosphere out from Pakaz, it absolutely may just give them that chance to start the fight off getting a couple of kills against OG. Especially if you can get that catch before the BKB reactions there from OG's core.
Exactly. They do have the team fight advantage just with the amount of spells that they can throw into the Chrono, but OG continuously in the right position, break the smoke. Dark Magos did not break though, so he's still getting in position.
Does have that DD rune as well, so...
Oh, now it breaks though.
Bubble from the void.
And OG, they're so ready. In fact, they're ready to start make the jump themselves. They're in immediately onto Dark Margo. They keep it locked down. No chance for the BKB to go off. As Dark Margo falls, Matthew as well to die.
Uh-oh, things are really crumbling fast. BZM very quick with the Aether Remnant.
They're looking smooth here, OG. There was a bit of a slower start in the first few minutes where it looked like Thunder, they were the ones that were going to be the aggressors here in this action. But after those moments have passed, OG really taking over here. 10k lead at 21 minutes in. And the kill difference is not that big at all. It really is just the efficiency from OG, the way that they're getting so much more out of the map right now.
Everybody's farming on their side, right? Look at the Phoenix and Wind Rangers net worths compared to their counterparts. About 3,000 ahead on each. Very significant. You do see BZM's net worth being impacted a little bit from it, but it's perfectly fine.
Look at this timing here. I guess there was a comparison of one match.
One match, though.
Sort of Phoenix is getting the Wraith back, but still, nonetheless, a good timing overall to have that Wraith back online 22 minutes in for the team.
It can offset a lot of that team fight advantage that we're mentioning that Thunder Awakens has. If they ever connect with their abilities, this might just be able to the thing to turn the tide. If OG gets caught inside of it, Sunray plus that is very effective. Top. Thunder just can't find anything.
Lamar is on his own. Over on towards the triangle. Panda down, Dark Margo as well, and have to put the BKB to survive it. He's looking for the opportunity to maybe turn, set something up in return for Seb. He's got the shackles, and Sacred's in trouble. Sacred caught at the front of the team by the Supernova, goes down, he tries to take it out.
It's alive.
The connects. They won't be able to kill the egg off. It's 3 dead on Thunder. Dark Margo lucky to get that blink off after he gets rifted back by Yuragi. It would just be the two of them, Dark Margo and Picard, surviving. There's another fight where OG are taking multiple heroes away from Thunder, and they're not losing anything themselves. They still have the Aegis good to go on Yuragi. They'll take the tier 2 down in the mid. They're ready to go for more here, OG.
The damage is just starting to be... It's even if they do connect with their spells now at this point on Thunder Awaken, it's really starting to feel like they might not even have the damage to be able to go through the tankiness of OG. Matthew ports himself bottom, but immediately spotted. OG playing fast.
We'll see the TPs come in. They're not going to be able to get here in time, though, to save Matthew. The question is if Thunder can hit back at all themselves. Dark Margo's going to jump in. He'll get the spear back on BZM. Chrono
Good
match.
Chrono.
Good one. Catches the two of them. They'll focus BZM first. They've got the damage to bring him down. See if they can turn for more. Yuragi, he's in straight away on top of Panda as the Pugna has to run. Shackle.
Picard's tackled.
The Gale Force as well, blowing back Picard's over towards Yuragi. He'll get the stun in. Rift as well, dragging him back. They're in onto the void. Whooping forward, tackle again, Seb locking them down. Thunder Awaken, everybody's dead.
They poured it into that fight too that started with a decent chrono, but a disaster quickly unfolds. Seb, back-to-back shackles, pulls the void back in after his time walk.
This is looking incredibly smooth here from OG. 24 minutes in, it's still early, but they're completely crushing Thunder Awaken. They're going to take away this final tier 2 tower. Thunder Awaken just not finding any opportunities this game to fight. It seemed like a good start here with the chrono, but it just wasn't enough to have a chance of taking the fight overall, Fog.
It takes him such a long time to kill the initial target. Then the Wraith Pact is down. Picard is hitting it.
And here we go. The range of this shackle into the Gale Force. You just can't run from this man.
Then look at the Chaos stun. Oh, the stun, it follows. Gets that poor void. And then a follow-up shackle, of course, to boot.
It's proving to be very, very difficult so far this game one for Thunder Awaken.
And Seb now immediately with that Blink Dagger that he just purchased up to gets a deep ward. This might catch Thunder Awaken off guard too if they try to go for a setup.
OG's ready to jump again. Thunder might not be prepared for this. Dark Margo stepping up. BKB will be available, but the shackle's already there. They've got the setup. Matthew comes in with the Sacred on the high ground. Yuragi's already got it on top of Sacred, takes him out. Dark Margo not even going to be able to run.
This game is over. There's nothing that Thunder can do.
25 minutes here. OG just dominating Thunder Awaken.
What a dismantling, too. It's like they never gave them opportunity to land their big spells at all. And it's like OG was playing pretty split up, but they were still also playing aggressive this game. It's 23-9.
You see a little bit of a breather here for Thunder Awaken with the fact that there's no creeps right now, so a bit of moments of backdoor protection.
But they have... how do you bring down this Razor and CK now? Your Void is so far behind. Your other two cores as well. This looks like smooth sailing for OG for the rest of this one.
See what sort of move Thunder will try here.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Any way to try and push OG off the barracks.
BKB is on cooldown. OG does have to get a bit of respect inside of the base, so this Rax will live.
We'll keep it up for now, Thunder Awaken. To lose the set in the mid lane.
Economical damage, though. It's massive. Picard's trying to find anywhere that he can farm and finish off this BKB, but he's so far away.
Huge amounts of pressure on Picard. It has to be a game-changing Chronosphere from him.
Yeah, feels like he needs the 5-man with some kisses flying over. Pre-BKBs.
Scanning.
Even then, OG very tanky. And so many ways for them to initiate the fights, as we've seen. OG just always seems to be the ones to get the start off. Either with the Seb Shackle or BZM getting these quick Aether Remnants. Thunder under the gun.
Mark.
And
He's going to opt for the TP out, but Seb, he's always there ready to stop him. In with the Shackles, and meanwhile, Uragi elsewhere, he's taken out Dark Margot. They just don't stop getting the kills here, OG. Thunder Awaken just constantly having at least one of their players out of the game, making it very hard for them to pull together any sort of team fight in the mid. They get the jump, they get the grab, he's locked down, taken out, Pagaz is gone. No buyback on him as well, out for a minute. This will give OG the chance to get straight back to work down the mid, take out that mid set of barracks, and yeah, there it is. GG, it's called 27 minutes in OG. In this game one, they made it look easy for them. This was the biggest stomp we've had on the main stage out of today and yesterday, and I think we're going to struggle to find a game closer to this level of stompiness. It was a rough one for Thunder.
it really was, and it looked like OG they were playing like the Thunder style. This quick-paced aggression while also distributing farm evenly, coming out ahead in the lanes and just playing with that advantage. It was beautifully done from OG. Thunder, they never got a connection with their big ults.
They didn't.
All together. It just never was given that opportunity from OG.
Absolutely, so the first few times, because having to use the Chronosphere to save himself, desperately trying to catch up in farm. I mean, he was really the only one on the team for Thunder Awaken that was starting to get some items, but still at the end, couldn't quite get the BKB, couldn't keep the game going long enough to find that opportunity to get things going. And yeah, those big heroes that we saw get through for OG, we're definitely seeing why a lot of teams take them away from them usually. Amar, 7-1 and 6, having a lovely time on that off-lane Razor. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen, game 1 to OG. We know that Thunder Awaken can bring much better than what we saw them do in this game 1. So we'll see if they can step it up in game 2. As for now, OG, they'll lead for now, 1-0 against Thunder.
I've seen it all before. Nico, Tiger, Ronaldo, Mia, Megan, my main man, Money, the King. There ain't nothing I ain't seen.
Okay, old school. You've never seen anyone like my girl Naomi and Mbappe, the Greek freak, a thing, Kaisa, or Chloe Kim. Do you know there's never been anyone else like them? Look, OG, no disrespect. I know you think you've seen everything, but you ain't seen nothing yet. Checkmate.
Cool shirt.
Thanks, man.
Cool shirt.
Yeah, I heard you. Thank you. What?
Wasn't me.
Cool shirt.
Yeah, I know. You said that 2 times already.
I didn't say anything. But that is a nice shirt.
That is a nice shirt.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is a nice shirt.
That is a nice shirt.
Makes you want to walk like this.
It's you and me. Welcome back. Here we are, ESL 1, Stockholm Arena, and that, no, ESL, yes, I'm correct. Stockholm Major, sorry. I've just eaten lunch, I'm a little fatigued. That, however, was not a tired performance from OG. They looked absolutely ready to roll. Mullered Thunder Awaken, to use a British term. Chaps, that was quite the whipping.
It was, yeah. It looked like there was not much Thunder Awaken could do towards the end of the game. They just were getting constantly ran at. The Wind Ranger shard was effective, pushing them out of position. If you're stunned, you can't run against the force of the wind, so it just becomes like a nether swap. Ended up being really effective when they were ahead.
A lot of shackles as well, SVG.
You have to ban this hero? I don't know. Every time I think you can get away with not banning this hero, he proves you pretty much need to ban it. It's just... The other thing is I feel like Seb, he's come into this, he's just started playing 5. He's not going to have some crazy deep hero pool. I mean, I say that as well. 2-time TI champion, so I'm not underrating him to any degree.
Of course.
But I think when the Wind Ranger's out, he's ended up playing Phoenix or Clock or heroes that have at least been slightly lower impact, so you get some decent value out of this ban in the second phase. But obviously, I think the biggest problem in this game was just that first 10 minutes. If that Snapfire lane does not win or does not crush their lane, I think you run into a situation like this where who's dealing damage in the mid game?
Right.
It's all on Dark Mago.
It's really rough. It's also for OG. They didn't really have to make their lanes do anything, really. They just sat, they farmed. There was that clutch moment, Razor top, where it was like 20, 30 HP. He gets the TP, the kill on Dark Mago, sorry.
Yeah.
But then I think just Uragi complemented the team really well by going to mid and taking the fight to Thunder Awaken. And it was their ability to just equally take the fight and farm. They just put themselves in a good spot to outgreed from the Predator and run them over.
We've got a replay here, T. This is a moment of the game where Thunder Awaken were trying to get a kill going here, and I think the Void comes in and OG were like, oh, you want to fight? Yeah, okay, let's fight. They sort of just stuck around. It was like a mass TP in, and they ended up team wiping Thunder Awaken.
Yeah. If you're Thunder Awaken, this is the fight that you kind of wanted 13 minutes ago, right? When the laning phase collapses, you wanted to sync up your Void with the Snapfire, get some fight, but see here, the Snapfire wasn't even present in this engagement without the ultimate, so I think the idea was good, but at this point, OG's already hit their double BKB timing, they've already hit their stride, even without Void Spirit being alive because he got killed at the start of the fight, they're able to just run them over. So I think if you're Thunder Awaken, you want to try and make something happen after the laning phase, during the laning phase, and don't kind of allow your Void to use 3 chronos defensively. Like, get some lads into that lane, get some fight going, don't just play on the back foot and let OG do their Dota.
Speaking of the back foot, I feel like Razor maybe was the biggest issue in the draft because it just made the rest of the things so hard lane-wise. Their carry picks couldn't be based on what's going to necessarily win the game in the meta. It had to like do that while also not being bad in the lane. But Amar just had such a great time. Kills Dark Mago here as well.
2 health, yeah, unbelievable. Let's have a look at player versus player. We've chosen the 2 mids, BZM and Dark Mago. So let's have a look at that. Damage dealt head-to-head. I spoke to you guys in the break about the whole Mars as a flex pick because you can put in mid thing. SVG, you did not think that the Mars was the issue here. The Mars going mid was not the problem, but we haven't seen it win much.
In some ways, I think Dark Mago is one of the players who's at least very comfortable with it, and honestly, he was maybe having the best game out of everyone on his team. The downside is it puts you in a position where your mid hero is not a spirit hero, it's some low CD catch and kill. Mars' damage from mid is very dependent on Arena and how he can set it up because no one on his team is setting up those kills for him.
Right.
And he can't just blink and initiate until later on. It's just a bit slower than the Tiny, which I think they prefer, or the Storm Spirit, which can do it innately, or even BZM on the other side, Void Spirit. He just dashes as you, deals a bunch of damage, dashes out. You have to hit him with a spear. It's just so much harder.
Like also his team, because of the lanes not going so well, he had to go straight for the BKB. Some mid lane of Mars, they can get a bit greedier. His entry to the fight will be this like rebuke half HP, then you arena someone else, right? But because of the game, he had to be sacrificial, and then it was kind of unfortunate for him. He wasn't able to match the damage of BZM.
And OG are just going to run at you with their heroes, and it just feels worse and worse and worse. I'm going to throw to something better and better and better, and that's Tsunami. Tsunami, how's it going down there on the arena floor?
The intensity is palpable, and so I needed to get a hands-on interpretation of rooting for both teams. I've got an OG fan. I've got South America's best and brightest Bowie over here. I've been told only going to ask you yes/no questions, so nothing too stressful. Is your name Dobby?
That is correct.
Oh, wow. That is correct. Not even just a yes/no. Is this your first Dota event ever?
Yes, it is.
3 words again. I'm very impressed. Are you rooting for OG?
Yes.
How long does Fiend's Grip last if you have a Timeless Relic on a Skywrath Mage? That's okay. I knew I was getting a little too complicated. Meanwhile, we've got a Thunder Awaken representative to hype up that it was a rough game 1, but how are we looking forward to game number 2?
I mean, that game might have been rough, but South America teams have been rough every day, you know? This is just a walk in the park for them. Even if they lose, I think they did great. And, you know, it's just amazing to see South America in the top 6. If it doesn't happen today, I'm sure it will happen any other day because these guys are amazing. They'll get you there.
That's right. Round of applause, Pete, please. We had Beast Coast, we had Thunder Awaken. Maybe OG might have a solution for all these South American teams, but we're gonna have to find out how that all goes down in game number 2.
Tried my best to ignore that one. Sorry. Okay. I have to address it. I'm not gonna purr. Sorry.
You're not gonna marry?
No,
what does that sound? Is that purry me?
Yeah, purr. Yep.
Oh, purr for me. Okay. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that. I'm sorry.
You sure, Kevin?
Yeah, I'm really sure.
I mean, we're here for you.
We're not going to break until you do it.
Talk about how much I'm not going to do
Ted's
it.
here to video it, and you know he's here.
I'll get my phone out.
I don't even like cats that much.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
You just a lot
like
of
dogs.
fans.
You are losing fans as we speak.
Oh, boo!
I deserve it. It's fine.
Okay, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll get into the next game. Can Thunder Awaken pull it back? Yes, I think they can. See you in a bit.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Late night lights bright as crystal clear. Now we're here. Keep your hands on the wheel, let me drink in this feeling. Now we're here. Oh, I can hear the dance floor calling me, calling me. Now we're here. Now we're here. Now we're here. Now
Welcome back to the ESL 1 Stockholm Major, Day 2. This is the first series of the day, and Thunder Awaken already find themselves a quick 0-1 down. They need to pull it back against this dominant OG team who rolled over them in that first match. Chaps, what are we looking for Thunder Awaken to find their strength again and come out swinging?
Look, the Wind Ranger looked great later in the game, but I genuinely believe that banning out the Razor in the first phase, like every other team has been doing against OG, I feel like that's got to be the first thing on their mind.
But all those teams lost.
That's a really good point. But Fnatic almost won. They were really close to winning.
That's true.
Do you disagree?
I just want to see lower CD jump. I think this team plays innately better when they have it. Their games are going to flow a lot better. They're going to feel better on the lanes going into the mid game especially. I think this game was just too clunky. It's reliant on some Tuskar cooking in or the Mars the cooldown, Chrono's ultra long cooldown. I don't think they had a very easy way to just jump a hero, get some momentum going, and then play off the numbers advantage on the map. Historically, they've done a lot better when they either get that Storm Pugna opening, the Saiyan King Mirana opening, some tiny Grim, something like this.
When you play against OG, if you rely on lanes having to go well to beat this team, that isn't really the recipe to success. So kind of like what SVG was saying, I'd like Thunder Predator just to secure themselves a little bit more in the lane. Don't force your last pick to be this, we're going to pick a Void for the late game, but it's not going to feel good in the lane. Like, when you're already accepting that your lane is bad, that's not the way that you beat this team. And ban up.
We're into the draft, so the Tiny, they banned the Tiny. Look at that.
Ted, I would like a point, please.
For what?
Like,
no, this is a whole new draft.
Well, give me a point for this draft.
This guy does not deserve any points. He refused to purr. He doesn't like cats. Nullify his entire score.
You get nothing, Kev.
Do you even like cats? Or are you just...
I love cats.
Oh, okay.
Pudge, if you predict the wrong team to win, will you purr?
You point at a camera that was not.
I'm pointing at the production.
we need to get a shot of SVG pointing at the camera. And he said,
way too late.
I love cats.
There's CK ban. So Thunder Awaken were threatening this first pick CK with no Enigma on the response. There was going to be an Underlord potential opener, but I think this is a much better setup for them because I think OG's deep cores are denied, but there's something we haven't seen this tournament.
But hey, it is one of Amar's heroes. Certainly Viper offlane has been using NA a lot as well as the lane dominator, so I'm sure Thunder Awaken know what to expect here. But yeah, at least I feel like this hero is easier to counter at least. The lane, sure, it's hard. You can beat it with supports though, you can get dispels, you can beat it with a carry that can get away, kind of similar to the Razor counter. And then later in the game, it is a little bit limited in what it can do.
Yeah, this Monkey King for OG, they've only run it in the carry role so far, but potentially if it's at 4, Viper plus Monkey King in lane, still going to be super annoying, double slows, being able to just bully out most heroes. And this Pugna 5, you're not really going to be doing anything into a Viper off lane. You're pretty much already out of the lane.
It's a rough one. Yeah. I also think this pick is literally just go screw yourself because what is he going to play in his offlane Viper? I think it's, even from the first game, it's, if you're going to target a player on this Thunder Awaken team, he's not a bad one to target. Just make his lane very difficult to pick into. His Viper's already blocking some of his key heroes we've seen in this tournament. The Spectre, generally not, you don't want to play in this hero. The lane's hard, you get broken in the mid game. The late pick TA, terrible against this hero in the lane. The matchup's rough.
I'd argue for the Viper though, Thunder Awaken, they pick the Storm now. I'd love to see them pick up a 4 and a carry that at least has some kill threat. So once you get to like the 4 or 5 minute mark, that Storm can look to rotate into that lane potentially, try and get a couple kills, make this Viper feel like he has no place on the map, and it could allow them to start snowballing from there. But it's very difficult to do.
You know, having Seb as a stand-in here might just be super good for the morale of the team, just keeping them chill and happy. I mean, you can just see him there laughing and joking. That's got to be such a strength. You're coming in, basically, you've got this guy who's like, don't worry about it, lads, we've got this.
Especially because they're new to LAN, right? It's a fairly new team, despite being under the same brand. Definitely going to help for that nerves part.
Yes, my bold brother, yes. Another one, that's 2 boldies we spotted today. I'll put myself on the list.
It's writing that one down.
Yeah, I'm keeping a score of that. So the question on the banner says, does Yuragi shave every day? And I would assume he does, because I know Slacks does every day, and that's why he keeps it tight.
Really?
I'm like every 2 or 3 weeks top.
Interesting to see the Weaver ban. I don't think we've seen this hero almost at all this tournament. He went unpicked, I think. Maybe 1 game, but it is a traditional kind of counter to this. Monkey Viper, low stuns, suffer from the minus armor. It's an interesting pick.
It could also be that this Monkey King is the carry, the Viper is already locked in as offlane, and some Weaver carry potentially.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
They're worried about the carry pool, because again, I feel like they're blocking so much of his carry pool.
Yeah.
He's going to have to potentially play something weird here if he wants to not fall behind too early, and that's where those Weaver, Drow, Furion type carries come out. We haven't seen him play a lot of them, but we did see TSM showing the power of that carry Furion. Maybe it could be something they bust out here.
Maybe.
I think that was like Thor's hammer, but in a Peruvian flag.
Yeah,
Lightning come out of
it was cool.
That was pretty hype.
Beastmaster Bane as well. So this is, again, they get the Storm Spirit, so suddenly the map is going to be a lot easier to play for Thunder Awaken. They can come online faster. OG's thinking about, we don't want to fall too behind on terms of controlling the jungle areas. Beastmaster is one of the best heroes at doing that. It's also a problem for Viper in the game in terms of the in-game matchup. Super high physical burst. It's usually what this hero suffers against because he cannot build up that armor early. There's the Furion ban, which I think would have been really good for them.
Oh, wow.
And you see the Thunder Awaken bans as well, Invoker, Puck, Angelier. They want to go aggressive, they want to take the fight, but if they're in their objective, they don't want to get punished by this quick TP reaction from this mid laner, BZM just then returning the favor.
We saw quite a lot of the Pugna Storm openings in the group stage and in the early stage of the tournament into banning Nyx, because you don't want to have a Nyx coming up against these two. But OG managed to sneak it through. That does spell big trouble.
It was game 2 where Thunder Predator lost a bet boom. Remember the Furion Rat going into, that was the exact same thing. It was Nyx into the Pugna Storm. It made the Storm's game very difficult. The Carapace having to go BKB, but I think Storm nowadays going for the Knolls into just casual BKB, you also kind of brush off the Nyx. It's more if you're initiating without vision, going blind, that's when you can get caught off guard because you're not using your BKB straight away.
Right.
In a lot of cases, he can just target different heroes, ideally, because Nyx is going to also want to frontline a little bit potentially to find initiations, and Storm loves hitting that backline, so if he can find Monkey King somewhere in the fight, or go for another hero to try to chain stun, that can be a solution too. But the mana drain is still pretty scary.
It's also just annoying here in terms of this hero is just hard to pick into, right? It's making these later core picks even more difficult for Thunder. They have to think about the Viper and the Nyx. I wouldn't be surprised to just potentially man up and just take like Phoenix Mars here, get the team fight, get something that's going to pose at least a kind of issue for a lane if this monkey ends up being carry. You're never going to be in a perfect scenario where nothing gets countered by Nyx Assassin. It's just Nyx Assassin's job.
All of OG's heroes are so annoying. Like Monkey King against melee heroes, Viper against the tanky heroes, and then Nyx against the Int. Like they've literally gone 3 heroes that in a draft. There's always one player where it's like, I don't play this because of X. And they have 3 of those heroes that are so obnoxious.
Does that mean you pick Brewmaster since he's all 3 combined? You
exactly. And then you just Cyclone, yeah.
Whatever your lane is, yeah.
It is an old school Viper counter.
And it is Thunder Awaken. They like it as well, so.
Yeah.
You just tornado him and worry about him later, is that the idea? Or?
Yeah, Viper just doesn't do anything with your split.
Right.
I feel like
Psyching Marauder.
Not that bad though, because you can break his passive now, and his passive is a big reason the hero's popular at the moment.
Gets extra magic resist though, which is kind of nice.
But doesn't it get broken?
I guess that's true.
I'd have to look at the.
I was looking at the sign boss.
But anyway, they decided to go the Mirana Sand King, so this is what I wanted them to go, at least direction-wise. Like you were saying, get the super low CD stuns, be able to play the map. This is their style. This is their super aggression that I think can catch OG off guard. As long as you get through the lanes, you're going to be pretty happy in this type of setup. Huge amount of team fight and pick off. There's your counter team fight.
Yeah.
I like it. Good counter pick. Anti-mobility against a lot of their heroes is good. Against Mirana and Sand King, getting those pickoffs is going to be a lot easier. Just got to land the first X or the Nyx stun with follow-up, and they're going to get kills on these.
10 seconds remaining.
Feels like similar to last game. What is Pakaz going to feel very confident playing here? This is a lot to pick into.
Is OG flexing this Viper to the end between 5 and offlane?
They're flexing the monkey too, technically.
Technically, yeah. I
mean, you know Seb will play. He'll play a 5 monkey. If
yeah,
he
that's
wants
true.
to.
There also carries there.
And again, it has to be something that can deal with this Viper on the lane because he has no dispel. He has no help. There's Morphling that comes to mind. Looks decent here, actually, I think.
Morphling's right.
The lane might be a little rough, but I think once you get into the mid game, you're pretty happy.
What's the thinking? I mean, the Abaddon ban is because you can just take off the arrow, take off the SK stun and stuff like that, so you just want to get him out of the way, right? So you can guarantee lockdown on at least one hero when you come in.
Abaddon Monkey is also a very underrated and strong combo. China really liked this combination of TI, though I don't think they played it too much on the main stage, but it's just very strong. You guarantee a dispel for Monkey so he can get off Wukong, he can get off his BKB,
right.
Then he just man fights people. It's kind of usually the way you combat this hero is you find him, you break a tree, jump him, burst him, but if he gets saved, then can BKB.
Right.
It's very difficult.
Is Juggernaut not also very good for Thunder Awaken? Into the Kunkka, the kind of breaking the X boat, also having the healing ward against Viper.
That's a really good point, yeah. That could lane decently well. And then if you get rotations in from either Mirana or Storm, you can definitely still kill the Viper. And then maybe spin isn't the best against him, but once you get Omni/Territory, you should be able to solo kill him. I mean, they kind of reflected a little bit with the Lifestealer ban, right? It's magic immunity. It's a way to dispel yourself. The cooldown's pretty long, but maybe there's another carry hero that can do something similar.
It's just the 5-head bans to then put the Viper to the 5 roll, and then they pick up another offlaner. It's like, we got you. Oh, they banned the Jug. All right, okay. It's Viper offlane.
Yeah, those are the 2 carries that have magic immunity easily.
I feel like they're going to lean towards Morph here. I'm not seeing anything crazy better that's robust because they theoretically still can't pick another offlaner, right? That's the big issue here.
You just look at his hero pool for the event so far, and none of them feel good right now because of this Viper.
Yeah. And it's tough that they keep leaving his pick last here and forced in these weird positions. But I mean, if you pick either Mirana or Sand King, the opposite hero gets banned.
I mean, it's also a product of the game 1 we had the early Razor, this game we had the early Viper. Again, they're putting a hero there that is a lane dominator, forces you to have to deal with it or you fall behind.
He doesn't want to pick his TA, he doesn't want to pick his Spectre, his Ursa, PA as well. Like, there's like
That's what I'm saying, man. It was it's not often OG busts out this hero. It's definitely a counter his hero pool pick, so gonna have to bust out something creative.
They can find that magical perfect pick that hasn't been thought of, it'd be really good, but it's not looking great.
Turn to pick.
TV.
Well, you can fight him, I guess, right?
That is you play the lane for like 3-4 minutes, and then you just run to the jungle, and then your Pugner accepts that he's going to get some XP, and then you play the rest of the map pretty much.
The downside is that I think this lane matchup can go horribly wrong. Like, if you die once early, it just becomes unplayable. I think you have some decent meta timings, and like you said, you can always go jungle. The mid and late game is amazing for the hero. You'll just shred Viper. Again, he's going to be low armor for so long. Gives them the damage, extra wave split as well. This is an EG classic Storm Terrorblade for a reason. Plays
Viper,
the map extremely well.
Viper 5, then you pick just Timber. And just roll for your opponent.
I feel like you leave the Viper there. I've seen the Viper versus TB matchup many times. NA DPC, it is like an absolute dumpstering if you have a bad lane because he just can't get close to the creep wave. He doesn't even aggro creeps when you get close. So I just feel like OG's got what they want here in the matchup, but hopefully he can get to the jungle safely.
There is still Underlord.
Yep.
And it is a pretty juicy Underlord game if they want to just go the route of you cannot run into it.
And it is ATF drafting.
You think he's just going to pick it anyway?
He just wants his last pick. That Seb, you're on the Viper.
There's still Wind Ranger, you know, never count it out.
It's right in there.
That's true. Yeah, the last pick winner. Let's give it to Seb.
It's just going to get terrible burrow arrowed all the time.
I think
that one Gale
They've taken the Void this time.
That's not a pick I would have expected just because they don't have the best to throw in the Chrono, but I can understand this. The scale element is terrifying this game.
Yeah, so it is Seb playing the Monkey 5.
I think the problem is that they don't have enough stun that's reliable to chain stun to kill Terrorblade. So if they get into a late game scenario without Chronosphere, they'd have to perfectly combo boat combos plus Nyx stun plus Monkey King. And if they mess that up, there's a Sunder, the fight gets tough. But if they can just Chrono kill him.
Yeah, but you end up with a monkey faceless Void lane. I mean, we've seen Seb pull out some stuff, but
this time, like, OG's lineup is allow Thunder Awaken, please run us. Try and fight us. And if you don't get your perfect execution of spells, we're going to have the run buff, Carapace turn around, Chrono, like all these spells that just make you innately tanky. Thunder Awaken might struggle if they don't execute in their smokes.
I don't know. Sand King versus a double melee lane.
Why do you think they're not going to do Monkey Viper?
Oh, you think? I mean, it's a Nyx, right? I think Nyx Void's an even worse lane, potentially. I don't think you have any play options for Sand King. I think you will absolutely dominate that lane if you play
You kind of need the Monkey there to give Void some type of aggressive threat.
Yeah, at least you can make some space, trade with Jingu. I don't know, you threaten some pulls at least a little better because you're faster. I think Nyx Viper's also an okay lane, you'll get away with it. But I think a lot of this game comes down to that first 10 minutes. How much does Thunder Awaken get done in those side lanes? Similar to game 1, but I think now they actually have the opportunity to get it done.
So SVG, very quickly, who do you think's got the better draft here?
I favor Thunder Awaken. I think this draft is a bit clunky from OG. Again, if they fall behind, might be difficult to come back.
Okay, well, we're going to throw it over to our casters, Fogged and Owen. Take it away, lads.
Thank you very much, Ted. Yes, very much looking forward to game 2 here, just about to start between Thunder, Awaken, and OG. Fog, we're getting a bit of a different approach from OG in particular, especially with the
Very different
draft. They've got the Monkey King Viper. Thunder Awaken on their side of things. One thing that sort of stands out in comparison to what they tried last game is I feel like they're going to be able to bring the fights more frequently, less focus on those long ultimate cooldowns that they had to fight around last game.
Absolutely agree. This is a much more Thunder Awakens draft that I think we've expected to see from them. Early aggression, not really cooldown reliant, picking that last super dominant carry hero that can still look to get involved and maybe have a better laning phase. But OG, they've gotten very outside the box from what we've seen from them this tournament. This is just, I mean, they haven't played Viper at all, but you can understand why they're doing it because Amar is looking for that hero, just shut down the safe lane. And of course, we do have a bit switch up with the Nyx and the Monkey King as well, too. So really interesting support picks. Nyx, clearly you can understand why they'd go for it, right, versus the Storm and the Pugna. Looked like an excellent setup for it. Panel talked about how it's been banned multiple times this one, but Seb playing Monkey King, that is really cool. The level 30 Master Tier Monkey King.
I was going to say pretty much this. Of course, we see what he does on the Grandmaster Tier Wind Ranger. We'll see if he can do anything similar here when he's on his Monkey King.
He has to have some type of concept that they thought about versus like the Pugna as well. Just how much he can scout in the back lines, always be able to snipe the hero. It does provide you a good stun from the tree lines always, so we'll see how he's able to do. And it is going to be Monkey King Void versus the Sand King Mirana. I'm going to be looking at this lane a lot. I feel like it could get pretty rough for the two melees.
And how do you sort of like the way that both teams have ended up with their carries? You know, how do you sort of see the matchup and sort of the threats that each carry is going to have put against them in this game?
There's a lot of chain stun that can come out for that Void. The Sand King, the Mirana, the Vortex to follow up with the Storm. While on the side of the TB, his is just about that late game dominance. He's going to be able to just address everybody except for the Void pretty easily in most situations. So it's going to be a lot about this lane.
See top lane, Seb. He'll look to get the Jingu up, but still taking a lot of damage. And of course, that level 1 Jingu heal doesn't really give much when you trade back. You will have Yuragi with the dilation skilled here to help slow them down. They can back off safely, but not too easy for Seb to trade here on that first level.
No, definitely not. Now that he's healed up, though, can help with the denies with that plus 40 damage. Can control the lane decently.
Of course, Thunder, they will have that strength of quick kill combo. We've seen it multiple times this major, just having the sort of Mirana plus any sort of setup will just guarantee you these opportunities after the lanes to start moving around the map and finding those kills. And OG, they don't really have any defensive heroes. Nobody to really bail each other out of getting caught in that sort of lockdown.
No, it's a Tiger. We'll have to run into it, the Carapace, and just tank to death, but we'll be able to counteract. Bottom, because this could be him going down.
There'll be a lot of damage here from the poison stacking up. But
Tiger?
Tiger has to back off himself here. Panda pushing back Tiger well as Picard will be able to turn back up towards the creeps. In fact, he's
turning.
Run down them. In fact, with the Meta, he might get kills out of this. Indeed he does. He takes out Amar. Defensive Decrepify, trying to keep Picard safe from Tiger. Tiger attempts to stay on top of him, but Picard will live. And now he can maybe try and turn and get a hit in onto Tiger. Tiger's got to run. Picard's chasing him down, but the Sal's there and Tiger can keep the distance. But a good read there from Thunder, from Picard to push on. He had the meta ready to go. They get the kill.
They just hit the 2. These little denies adding up. He was still last hitting very well in the lane, even though they were getting harassed heavily from the Viper. 3-3 on Amar at the moment. Dying early as Viper can be very painful. This can totally offset your game to be able to actually pressure properly. And looking at Amar, he's holding the skill point, as we see a lot of times when you are Viper versus TB. Don't want to get that corrosive skin, that reflection back onto yourself too much. As he skills it right after I say that. So that could also hurt. I know that's one of the reasons that they definitely did go for that pickup. I'm totally lying, by the way. It does not act back. Sorry about that.
We'll see what Amar does here. I mean, he'll be able to get more aggressive once he hits the 3 and have that sort of third point ready to go. So Picard has to play careful. Sort of window where he hasn't got the meta ready. You can definitely expect once it's there again, he's not just going to use it to hit the creeps. They'll try and set up for kills here between the two of them, him and Panda.
Lane is pushing in, though. Good pull from Panda. And yeah, I totally lied about the corrosive thing, so ignore that.
Meanwhile, on the top side of the map, what are we sort of getting out of that matchup? Who's having the better time up here?
As we said, I'd imagine the Sand King should be able to have a really good time up here. The Void, it's this double melee. Even though he's gone for early time dilation to offset some of that pressure, this Caustic is devastating versus double melee. Even putting the second point in stun, that's a bit interesting from Sacred.
I guess wanting to look to get aggressive and have that longer, more solid setup for Matthew to follow up with an arrow.
Probably knows that he doesn't need the Sandstorm in this lane because he is versus double melee. Just wants to have as much kill threat as possible. But I mean, Sandstorm does do a lot of damage. So still interesting.
Mid just the moment.
Pretty even.
Yeah, I think Dark Margo is doing a good job. I feel like we've seen a few mid laners go up against the Kunkkas recently and get hit out of the lane. Bottom this time round, Picars will fall. Mark able to stack up enough of that poison. Indeed, this is where you have to really worry against the Viper. When he hits that level 3, the 2 points in the poison attack make all the difference. Over towards the mid. C7 BZM look towards Dark Margo. Backups in with the arrow. Will hold back the Kunkka for now. Seb trying to stand his ground. Hitting into Dark Margo, but it'll be him that falls. Seb goes down. Dark Margo's still got a fair bit of mana to play with. So BZM has to be cautious as he backs off. Good move there from Thunder, making sure that Matthew is ready to back up Dark Margo and ensure that OG don't get the kills out of this.
Always having to check those runes when you see these matchups. The Kunkka versus anybody who is reliant on the bottle. Dark Margo will not be able to get the rune though, so he's sitting low.
See what he wants to do to get his mana back. I may take a trip back to base.
This is cool for Matthew. Knowing that the Sand King has no threat top, he's just starting to rotate, looking to help this Terrorblade who potentially could have a tough time versus that Viper level 3.
And with the third hero down here, they could find an opportunity to get a kill, especially if Tiger leads forward too far.
See what angle he's going to go for. They do have the damage if they do get the connection with the level 2 meta.
See what they try for. Matthew himself hidden in the trees. They'll start things off with a
reflection. Off the mark.
They're going to go fully aggressive onto Picars. They got the stun there onto the 3 of the Tiger. Lining it up, making sure that they have the control to take down Picars.
Amar hit level 5 right before they made the play too, so even more damage, and they missed the arrow. No way to set it up.
Yeah, I mean, level 5 on the Viper. This lane now, when the Metamorphosis is not available, it's pretty much impossible for Picars to step up and hit creeps now. Viper is just going to hit into him and destroy him each and every time he turns up.
I really think he might have to start going to the jungle pretty soon, because he did use the meta there and died immediately. It was kind of far off, too.
A beautiful stun from Tiger. Not a
He caught all 3.
He really did. And Amar just, as I say, it's going to be a huge nightmare for this Terrorblade. Picars, he
came back bottom.
He's come back to the lane, much to Amar's happiness. There'll be the Decrepify to give some safety for Picars. And ticking down so low. It's not a safe place to be. Over in the mid, BZM. He's going to try and play around his torrent and the boat, but he can't get it off in time. Thunder, they'll find the kill in the mid.
Probably the better plays where Matthew should go. Even though he wants to help his Terrorblade, they don't have the great setup for the arrows. They have the setup with that Storm Spirit, so might have to just break this lane. 18-3 on Picars. He's getting pinged too. Amar, he's popping the glyph. He wants to get aggressive. He wants to get another kill.
He is low on the mana. Even with the stick charges, only will be able to get a few attacks in with the poison. So we'll see what they try. Tiger himself does have mana for the stun, but no mangoes or anything to fuel Amar up if they want to get aggressive. And Thunder still with the 3 of them ready to try and turn if Picars does get gone on. I say that they've sort of backed off from Picars, and they're just feeling very confident in the fact that Amar's mana is low.
Amar's got Courier coming out though, Treads and Clarities. Gonna juice himself back up. And they will look to make moves, get some stacks going for the Terrorblade, so they have that way for him to reliantly farm afterwards. All 3 lanes looking pretty damn good for OG. Even the Void able to farm better than the Sand King. Sacred's now gone to the jungle, and Void's just in a he's versus nobody, 1v0. Level 6 already finished up. He's gonna have much better timings than we saw Picars have on that Void.
Gonna see around the bottom. Rotation here from the Storm, looking to set up on Amar. They get the arrow connection, they jump in with a burst. Jiragi's going to turn up those. Bruno is going to catch the 3 of them. He'll turn his attention over towards the Storm first, but he doesn't get enough bashes. Dark Margo gets out of there, but Picars, he won't be able to escape. Matthew also in trouble. Sacred comes in with the stun, the ult to try and burst through Seb. The boat's going to be coming in though, and that will provide the protection for Seb to get out of there. They lose a 3rd hero here, Thunder Awaken. As OG, they're not done yet. They're going to look for more. X-Mark set up onto Sacred. They'll be able to drag it back into the Primal Spring of Seb. A full team wipe here by OG. As both teams, they choose to put everything into that fight, and it couldn't end any worse there for Thunder. They lose everybody, folks. 8-minute fight.
10 heroes in the bottom lane at 8 minutes. Reminiscent of some TI finals where we've had teams just break lanes and fight, but beautiful connections. OG, what? I think it was a 2-man Nick stun into a 3-man Boundless, into a 3-man Chronospear, land their spells perfectly, and BZM shows up afterwards for the cleanup. 3K lead already off of this.
It's starting to look boring already here for Thunder. They had a tough game 1, and 8 minutes in to have that difference build up once again. It looks to be, it's going to be just as difficult this game 2 potentially.
especially if they start losing towers this early on versus a lineup that does not naturally take towers, the same as Thunder Awaken with the TB.
We'll see it again here. Looked like a decent start getting that burst, but OG with their reactions, Yuragi coming in with that 3-man chrono, making sure that Amar was able to live long enough to get enough damage out and take the fight. Back in action, Seb will get caught. So Thunder Awaken able to punish his position.
They have to keep focused on bottom lane and just mid and bottom just to not lose the tower. If they start losing towers, then the access for OG becomes so easy for them to get into this TB's jungle. And they have great heroes to be able to disrupt the TB in jungle. The Nyx when he gets 6, the Monkey King jumping through the trees. A lot of different ways that they can get that access once those towers are dead. But it is tough for OG to take towers besides winning a team fight into a tower.
Gonna need that Blink Dagger on Sacred to really look to pick the fights around next. We'll smoke up 2 of them here. Dark Margot.
That's a good point. Sacred has gone for a lot of small items this game. He's got Soul Ring as well as Bracer as well too, so that Blink is going to be delayed a lot.
Maybe they can find something alone with sort of just Dark Margot zipping in, getting that Vortex to buy time for Matthew to land his arrows. They've got their eyes towards the mid. Tiger is there right behind Yuragi, both BZM and himself, ready to back up any sort of move Thunder do attempt to go.
Tiger already 6.
Panda, he steps forward, they're able to get the easy setup. It's going to be him going down, they'll look towards Seb. Dark Margot's got to be careful. There's a lot of OG around, they're going to have the combo here. Dark Margot will be able to zip out in time, and he has enough mana to continue to get out of there. He'll live.
Has to use his whole mana pool to back away though. And yeah, Taiga hitting 6 pre-10-minute mark on the Nyx Assassin. Really important in this game, how much we mentioned the Nyx Assassin versus the lineup of Thunder Awakens. It's amazing, this game, versus the Pugna and the Storm in particular. Pakaz getting breathing room, though. The important thing that they need has gone to the jungle, farmed up the stacks that they had prepared for him, and they are starting to be able to set themselves up to protect the tower bottom with Sacred down there.
And you imagine Thunder Awaken, they'll be doing their best to try and make sure that Pakaz isn't forced to fight anytime soon?
Yes.
What sort of item timing or pickup are we going to see where this Terrorblade wants to get involved?
Maybe actually earlier than usual. I think he still wants to get like the Manta and everything like that, but might be able to turn up and fight a bit sooner than that. Depends on which cooldowns are used. I think if Chrono's used, and maybe even if Boat is used in some situations, he might turn up to the fight, but if Chrono's available, I highly doubt that he shows up to most fights. Until later stages, when he feels tanky enough.
The bottom here, we've seen Tiger been all over the place. He hasn't missed out on a single kill so far, 1-0-7.
Feels like Taiga and Matthew just
and then the mid again, set up with the Carapace, but Panda is close enough to the tower. And this time Thunder, with Dark Margot at his side. Not quite easy of a move for OG to make towards him.
Lots of scouting though, as you said. Look at this Nyx. Scouts out mid, checks out the ancient area to see where the TB is. Panda even starting to put sentries down, trying to watch out and protect the areas for when that Nyx is going to sneak in.
Pakaz is pretty aware of this. He's not going to try and push out that wave or any further getting hits onto the tower. OG.
Ooh.
If Sacred can do anything with this, I mean, Yuragi's there to help out. There's the arrow follow-up as well as the urn. That should be Seb dead. Unless he could turn this, he's able to put the...
And if the Chrono.
The Chrono's there, Seb. He's going to walk this off. He's going to live. They didn't have enough damage. Seb will be saved. And it's going to be Sacred that ends up going down.
The little items he's purchased off, something you don't see much on a Monkey King. Look, he has like a buckler and a fluffy hat.
In the mid, Dark Margot is going to be smart with the ball lightning here. Will manage to, again, break the X-Mark pullback.
He does have a regen as well, too.
We do know that there's no Chrono.
Uh-oh. Dark Margot, though.
Could, again, be able to avoid the pullback. If they can get the combo. No, they can't, again. A little too elusive here with the zips. Quite catch this storm. Dark Margot
pushing his limits. Look at this again.
I mean, they got so close to bringing down Seb. The combo with that setup for Matthew. Not enough burst.
I mean, I guess Matthew didn't want to leap in to go for the double Starstorm potential to land on him, but does end up costing them the kill, and it's all the little things that matter, right? Raindrop, buckler, fluffy hat. Oh, 2 HP. Oh my god. Even the trusty shovel HP, of course. 3K lead, getting a comfortable advantage at the moment on OG. And now they start getting their farm style going. Amar getting a bit greedy. Yuragi under no pressure, farming Ancients too.
We had this last game, of course.
We did.
In the game where the kills weren't that different. The amount that OG was able to farm from the map in comparison to Thunder was just a complete difference.
And BZM's BKB timing is going to be super fast to just be able to lead the charge in most of these situations to set up his Gary to be able to get those Chronospheres that he's been getting so perfectly so far. Yuragi, both of them on point. 3-0 and 5, a lane that could have gotten pretty difficult for the Void. The double melee versus Sanking Mirana, he's done excellent.
In the mid, quite a bit of mana used there by Dark Margo.
Amar very smart with the Nether Toxin every time, just drops it on top of where the Storm's trying to zip, so if he does try to go for an aggressive play, Dark Mago will have no damage. The overload will not be there.
A lot of pressure on Pakaz to carry this one.
Really is.
Keeping fairly up there with the cause of OGs, catching up.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of protecting his triangle too, right? The sentry wards that we mentioned earlier from Panda. Watching out for that Nyx.
We'll get the combo. This time round, it should be an easy kill. Nothing for Tiger to do there as Sacred catches him by surprise. I need to keep looking for this, the combo of the two of them. Sacred and Matthew, they've got to punish every time that they catch anybody on OG out alone.
Top. Margo will get the tree cut.
Be able to take down that tree. TPs are coming in though.
He's a bit tanky.
Dark Margo probably not going to be able to finish this on his own. Boundless is in. Seb, he's going to be able to step away, and Dark Margo with that last bit of mana, he's got to get out of there.
Panda, 1 or 2 more hits and he's going to go down probably.
Damage here. Try and protect himself with the Decrepify, but the magical damage still sticking down. He's healing up with the life drain, so Panda will survive.
So many, I mean, both teams just matching each other's aggression at this point in the game.
It's under attack.
During this time, Yuragi will be able to likely take the bottom tower. So first T1 of the game will go to the team with the Void. Not something you tend to always expect.
Yeah, and it's just going to be a super fast Mione this game from Yuragi.
He's huge.
15-minute Mione done on the face of this Void.
He'll be able to solo kill most heroes inside that Chronosphere now at this point. And he's going to always have that static charge effect that he's able to throw on himself, the Mjolnir. Very good versus any type of constant damage like your Sandstorms and things like that.
Looking again in the mid. BZM stepping up and immediately go for him with the combo. BZM, nice, he's going to be going down for sure. No, the BKB is there. It's up. He's going to be able to step away. They're trying to finish it with the right clicks. They will get him. They take down BZM.
Margo, though.
He might go down in return. He's out of mana. Tiger's in with the control. Dark Margo will be able to at least bottle up that DD, but he'll go down. So once they get in and get BZM, it's still costing them lives in their efforts. Just under the rest of them, Moonlight Shadow up and they'll back away. Unlikely to want to look for a fight against OG around this tier 1, especially with Yuragi having the Chrono ready to use.
That could have been a scary moment there for Thunder too. Yuragi was on the high ground and then he actually walks low ground as Thunder goes up on the high ground. So could have potentially caught a Chrono there.
Thunder's got to be careful.
The tower, Sacred.
He's going to get caught out by the Boundless. Jump off to the side, but the sentry's down as well as the dust. There's no escape for him, even within the Sandstorm. They'll try and heal him up with the life drain. The arrow actually does hold back Yuragi, but the damage bringing him down low. Can they keep
still alive?
The heals, they'll save him. All right, Sacred will live.
Well played by Panda.
Very nice move here from the supports of Thunder.
Keeping their tower alive as well. If that Sand King does die, tower probably drops as well. OG will back up, continue their farm.
Thunder still proving that they can hold on despite this pressure from OG, and indeed you see that 3 minutes faster than the fastest that we've seen. It's quite the timing here from Yuragi.
Going straight for the Lincolns next. So he'll have that protection versus the instant stun, in particular versus Sand King, even blocking maybe even a Sunder at some points, and the Vortex. Very good Lincoln's game, actually, for OG.
Let's see what Tiger can find. Pakaz would be the big catch.
He wants to get some information up here, too, probably getting a ward down. It's going to get spotted, though. They're probably going to know that vision is there. Mago pops the DD.
The rest of OG need to maybe come over, join Tiger in the efforts here. There's the Boundless. They'll look to take out Pugna first. That's Panda gone. Over to the side, Dark Margo with the DDs on top of Seb. The combo not going to land again. Dark Margo able to dodge the boat. He's going to zip back in to try and finish off Seb. Will get the kill, but now he's out of mana. See if he can get away from this one. BZM.
Torrent hits.
Going to catch onto Bakaz. He'll jump forward. BKB popped by BZM as he commits in there.
Oh, the Chrono again.
Dragging the Storm Spirit back into the Void's Chrono. And that's going to be both causing trouble. Bakaz goes down. Dark Margo falls as well. As OG, they get into the triangle of Thunder, and Thunder cannot get them out of there in time. OG too strong around the Chronosphere for Thunder's cause to deal with.
And Yuragi's always in the right place at the right time while also keeping up with the farm. 10k net worth. Incredible play so far from OG. Constantly pressuring Pakaz. And Dark Mago, 6,000 net worth of his Storm Spirit. He's died 3 times already. Seeing all this chain stun really come into play. Taiga especially, who will probably die walking into the blind high ground. But 10 assists already for this Nyx Assassin. He's done his job.
And just soaking up the attention as well.
Tipping each other a little bit.
Cause of OG still having all the space in the world, but Yuragi 6-0-5. Even Amar and BZM, each of them only dying twice so far.
Up top.
I think they'll try and make it a third, and they'll go for BZM. BKB's still on cooldown. And at the boat coming in, does hold back Picard for now, but still with the zip forward, Dark Margo finishes off the job. They get BZM.
It feels like Thunderwaken has to get more aggressive in this game whenever Chrono's
He's
down.
going to go straight into the jungle, looking to get aggressive. There's
Nice
the back of
time.
Sacred. Good hold on to the sword, and the BKB from Lamar, though, is off in time before the arrow connects. OG, they'll be able to turn that attempt around.
He just got it delivered. If you see his courier is literally still going back to base from it delivering it. He went for the disassemble play with his Dragon Lance. Perfect timing again. I think it's the right move from Thunder, though, to try to get aggressive. They have to take advantage of the cooldown in Chronosphere, it feels like. So they're just getting further and further behind in this game.
Yeah, Picard's just a couple of components away from the BKB on top of the Manta. On that stage, as long as he doesn't get caught in the Chrono, he'll have a solid shot of standing his ground with the Metamorphosis and maybe getting some kills in return when OG look for the team fight.
It feels like the priority, though, is going to keep going up and up more and more. The Yuragi, he's not going to go for multi-man Chronos at some point. He's literally just going to Chrono this TB. And looking at the levels, too, he's already 16 on this Void ahead of the TB. And there's a very dreaded level 20 talent that can come out for those Voids that allow you to kind of kill literally anybody in the Chrono, that 120 attack speed.
Yeah, the pressure then to be on towards Panda, to come in with those defensive Decrepifies and give that chance for Cars to live despite being Chrono.
Kind of cool that the time lock has a higher win rate, actually. That's neat. I don't think I've ever seen anyone take the time lock damage, to be honest. Taiga continuing to scout. All his wards are getting dewarded. So Panda very prepared to protect this jungle. But Pakaz keeps having to just like run away, keeps having to find different places to try to farm. And it can't be just Pakaz who's farming either. It cannot be a Terrorblade versus the world, because as we said, he's addressed by the Void. So they have to get some type of more successful fights for Dark Mago in particular.
Gonna try with this smoke. Yuragi's gonna be a bit tougher to catch. In fact, Yuragi himself also smoked.
He's got
up.
Lincoln.
See them jump for Dark Margo, but Margo's off to the side. Oh, they try and get it, but the Carapace catches Sacred on the initiation. It jumps in.
Boy.
They've got the damage here. They're looking towards Dark Margo. Dark Margo has to run, but he gets X-marked. This time they're able to pull it back into the boat. 2 dead. They'll probably lose 3 here. Sacred's gonna try for the TP out, but the damage is done. 4 gone on Thunder.
Yuragi just playing like a beast, really. The Carapace also catches Sacred, a bit of a mistake from there, but again, Chrono catching everybody. Beautifully done. And the static charge coming into play there. We saw the Mjolnir effect, actually the thing that finishes off that Storm Spirit with that pulse.
I'll look over to the Roshan now. Thunder, they will scan it out. Maybe back up in time to try and have a shot of looking for a steal. As OG, don't take this down too quickly.
It's pretty bold that they're going to actually attempt for this one here. No Chrono. They do know that Epicenter is down, though, the big team fight from Thunder, but yeah, they'll back it up.
I was going to say...
It looked a little funky.
Well, that would have been a tough one to take. It would have taken a fair bit of time, and Picard's BKB just about to be finished. He's getting to the point where he will be ready to step up to the fight, especially when the Chronosphere's on cooldown. Picard's, he'll look to get involved.
Radiant's top tower is
Has to do something big with the reveal, though. And for OG, I think the thing is that they're just going to back up, right? Back up and farm, and now it's going to be the pressure on Thunder to potentially look for a play with that BKB TB to force something. Otherwise, 60 seconds, Chrono's going to be back up, and OG's going to look for the fight to catch that Terrorblade again. So let's see what Thunder does look to try to do. BKB's still far away for Dark Mago. He actually bought the Shard on the Storm Spirit this game early on. He's going to stall his timing significantly, and he is playing versus the Nyx Assassin. So
OG, they're ready to look for action. They're going to get the setup here onto the mid. Panda caught in the stuns. He'll go down at the start of this move as Thunder. Kaz is watching from the side.
Double Torrent.
He's going to catch the 2 of them. Dark Marcus, he probably will be able to zip to the side, but he's going to tick down low to the poison. Picard's moving in with the meta. He's trying to be into the BKBs are up from OG. Picard's trying to get the
He's
hit
alone.
But he cannot live through this. Now put the BKB, but the bash is causing issues. He's trying to look for a Thunder opportunity. Will get his HP back up decently, but he cannot stand to take the fight still at this point. Arrow comes in on towards Tiger, bursting the Nyx Assassin down low. The illusions as well, bringing him out of there, but they get him out to the side. Pop the smoke.
Okay.
He got protected from those last few hits flying through from Picard.
And OG, even without Chronosphere, take the fight advantage. And Chrono's back up in 5 seconds, so might even continue to looking for this fight. Meta gonna be gone. Dark Mago continues to just jump in and nearly die. Somehow gets away this time, but very close.
Very close there indeed. The poison from Amar. I think he was able to dodge sort of a few ticks of it there with the full lightning. Does keep him alive. Of course, the game overall still in a tough position for Thunder Awaken.
And now they can force the Roche, because Chrono is available. Everything, well, the important abilities at least, the meta in particular was used by Thunder Awaken. They have an Epi, but fighting into this is going to be way too difficult, as Taiga always on the prowl with the scouts. Same thing for Seb on the tree lines. Wraith Pact online already.
Yeah, highly unlikely we see Thunder try and do anything about this one. OG, we're ready to grab this Aegis and look to push on for the next move. The next team fight for Thunder, it's going to be so hard.
Yuragi is about to hit level 22. Level 20 as well. Whenever I say 22, I always feel like I say it wrong. 20 as well.
Structures are fortified.
Thunder, how long have we got until the meta?
Dark Mago.
Carapace was used. Carapace, Torrent, and both there with a follow-up. Can he get the zip off in time? He can't. Dark Mago and Matthew caught out in the mid. As OG, they've got the creep wave in position. They'll push towards the tier 2. He's trying to get, Picard's trying to cut the creep wave actually.
Okay.
The illusions in the mid, that will slow down the push a little bit.
Dark Mago's really feeling the pressure of this game. Addressed by the Nyx Assassin, he had the ward down. He went for the Vortex, but Taiga got the Carapace off first, so immediately stuns himself. And there we go, level 20 for the Void. Next fight, it's all on Pikaz.
It is. It's going to be down to what he could get done with that meta. It's still about 2,000 gold away from having the Skadi. So still just sort of fully defensive with his items. The damage isn't too hard for OG to kite out, as we saw last time, even being able to save Taiga from the DPS of this metamorphosized Terrorblade.
Like which chord can he focus fire on the TB? It seems like almost impossible to go for any of them. Even the Viper
hard.
at this point, almost 3,000 HP. Same thing for that Kunkka, 3,200 with a Halberd on top too, so just really feels super difficult for Pikaz, because now it feels like also when you start feeling this momentum for OG and they know Storm is completely shut down, Sanking's completely shut down, all your itemization just has to be to deal with Terrorblade.
So they can get in the mid, they get the tree cut from Seb. Arrow follow up as well, so they can burst through the Monkey King in time. They haven't got enough damage, Seb's going to be fine, it's going to be Panda that's in trouble as OG take down the Pugna.
Thunder Awakens, they can't strike back with any kills, not even taking out the supports. We'll catch an arrow onto Yuragi.
Yeah, OG ready to just sweep over, look towards more tier 2 towers. They've still got 3 minutes left on the Aegis.
Buying a gem now too, just have more dominance.
Taiga steps into the Sandstorm with that spike. Carapace catches out Sacred.
They even popped the glyph there to attempt to maybe counteract and get some damage out on them, but That means another tower on the menu for OG. As just swinging pretty much anywhere they want on this map. BKB is done for Dark Mago. Has one way to protect himself, but damage is definitely going to be a bit lackluster. And look at Seb doing his thing, just going for the damage mitigation that he loves to do. The Wraith Pact going in for that pipe next. Going to be able to address even more of the Sanking Storm damage that will come out while his team prioritizes shutting down that Terrorblade.
Yeah, we've seen the last few times, and Dark Mago's pretty much tried to just go for Seb on top of the tree.
Finish him.
Now, yeah, he's going to have nowhere near enough damage to burst through this Monkey King.
Map's starting to shrink incredibly fast. Pikaz the only one who can actually go out and farm now. Panda does make a little bit of a venture out into the Radiant jungle, but he's spotted by wards.
He's very close to having the Skadi. We'll be on top of the Mind Breaker, so decent damage will come out from this Terrorblade.
Panda move. He's getting surrounded. And Taiga's already on the scout for Pikaz. He knows the positioning he's in. He does find him.
So what they can do with this, yeah, BZM's going to be ready to head straight over to try and help Taiga get the kill on Pikaz. If he expects them to be over here, Amar also TPing over to the tower. They'll get the setup. He wasn't able to get the BKB off in time. They've got the chain stun getting a little put the BKB. He's going to try and get the
die.
BKB TP out, but he's gets taken down. It's too much damage.
Taiga's just on point with his rotations, just always scouting. And now Yuragi looking for another one. 60 seconds, they can go for literally anything on the map, OG. Moonlight Shadow will protect the Pugna and the Mirana. But a devastating hit. Because the only one who's really having a game, it feels like, on Thunder Awaken in any way, continues to get shut down.
He has to, of course, take these risks, look to farm in those deep areas. And it's inevitable that it will eventually get punished. And up until that point, yeah, he was finding the gold, keeping up with Yuragi. Definitely impressive in a game where overall his team falling collectively so far behind that of OG.
Yuragi already with a full Scotty though, so that TB, even the BKB, he's addressed. Yuragi can just focus onto him.
See Matthew.
Another stun.
And another kill. OG just getting the kills each and every time they get the opening setup, but Tier 2 taken out on the bottom.
It's time for a potential high ground push, even though Aegis is going to get reclaimed. OG, they're feeling their strength.
Yeah, they know how strong they are. Because we'll be back up.
Secondary Lincolns also. We mentioned how good of a Lincoln's game it is for OG. Amar buys one, throws it onto Yuragi.
He steps ready to set up for the trees. They just jump in straight away for Panda. Panda's gone.
The tidal wave last hit.
What can Thunder do? Because full Scardy's there. He's able to get his next big item done, but the bottom rack's in trouble. OG will commit for the objectives. Not going to see really any attempt for Thunder to try and defend this bottom set of barracks. They know that they can't do anything without having at least a full 5-man alive. OG, they'll take the first set, be ready to swing around the mid and probably to go for more straight away.
Yuragi, I think he actually would have gotten him if he had the chrono. He pump faked it and it was he actually guessed perfectly. It was right on top of where Mago was jumping.
29-13, 17k lead here from OG. Got Margo. Oh my goodness, nearly getting caught there by Tiger.
They really, like we said, the Lincolns going to be able to protect every single time these two cores of OG. And now, I mean, Thunder just trapped inside the base.
They're going to try and smoke out Thunder. They've got to take risks. They've got to try and catch OG by surprise outside of the base, but OG in the position they are, very, very hard for Thunder to get a jump on this.
Got to be careful how hard they stack.
He's going to be the first to show. The Linkers is there. Sacred will jump in with the Burrow Strike. Yuragi's going to step forward.
He hits nobody.
He gets nobody. It looks like it probably won't matter though as they kill off Sacred. Sacred buys back Dark Margo with his BKB on the retreat. Amar beating into Pakaz. Pakaz trying to step forward.
They're on Pakaz.
The controls there. They're in on top of Pakaz. Pakaz disarmed and getting bashed in by BCM. He gets taken out. Sacred, he pulled back for this one, but he's also in trouble. X-Mark back into the torrent. I mean, OG, they're just that far ahead. They don't need to hit anyone with the Chronosphere. They'll still take the team fight with ease.
Everyone's still full HP. Pretty much only Tiger, the one to be brought down and just buys back instantly, rejoins the fight. I mean, that says everything, right? 0-man Chrono, and they still like barely even lose any HP, and that should just be the game. 50 seconds, no because.
No buyback here on the two cores. OG.
Oh, click on Amar. Look at the quick buy.
He's got those mantles. See if he picks up any here before the close up of the game, as that's their mid-rack's gone. OG, they'll look to take the win in nice and safe. Look for the Megas. Thunder, they might have one final instance where they'll be all up to look for some sort of fight.
Like, they can't even do anything. Everyone's too tanky. The boat, itemization from Seb too, there's just no damage.
Let's see. Dark Margo again. BKB in, he's trying to do his best to pull them away from the final set of barracks. So he's got to be careful.
And he's gone.
Caught him with the bash. He has got buyback. So they'll, as I say, maybe have one more last GG. No, they'll tap.
They're done.
They know there's nothing to be done. GG is full. OG, this game 2 is there.
Oh!
It's there.
Matt, pointing it out, Amar does say, sorry for Toxic Matthew at the game. Sorry for Toxic, and then regarding it to Matthew.
Indeed, I believe, because we heard before the series, you know, that Thunder Awaken were looking forward to playing it against OG, because there was a little bit of beef in the pubs, but we have Amar actually trying to just squash the beef here with an apology. But there we go, so 2-0 to OG. I mean, this game, it was a little longer than the first one, but it was a rough one for Thunder. We've had some great showings from Thunder here at the Major, but today against OG were just fully prepared for them, and they completely just slammed down the style of Dota that Thunder tried to bring here in this match.
Yeah, it felt like OG was literally matching it the way that Thunder has been playing throughout this tournament. This super early aggression, bringing the numbers, bringing everybody. It was 10 heroes in the bottom lane at the 7-minute and 30 mark. So that kind of says everything. OG played super fast. Their last few picks looked really nice, and the idea that they had about this game, the idea about the draft was perfect. This Monkey King Viper opener into what Thunder Awakens has, it really just looked amazing.
Absolutely. OG looking fantastic today with these 2 back-to-back wins against Thunder. This series, without a doubt, it's theirs. OG will be moving on here, 2-0 against Thunder Awaken.
Welcome back to the ESL 1 Stockholm Major. We say goodbye to Thunder Awaken after that defeat by OG. OG looking absolutely imperious this morning in our first series of the day. And we are going to go in a sec now to the exit interview, and I think it's with Arvo. Take it away.
We are very good. Avo is standing by with Pandabu with Thunder Awaken. Avo, take it away.
Last major you guys went to in any major, right? Your result was... There we go, a lot of support. Your result was not your desired result. Here you get a top 6. How has this journey been for you? How's the improvement been for you, Panda?